definitely ready, buddy.
Right. Yeah, he's done.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. It's been a long awaited time, but for anybody who's definitely familiar with Maryland, for example, we have live music. Huge announcement this week that we will definitely discuss. We talked about on last week's episode the fact that myself, Angel, and Bobby got to attend BLE's live event that they did recently with Roxy Blue as their headliner. But with the big announcement, as many of you guys all know, M3 is locked down, loaded, ready to go. 4th of July weekend. We will definitely discuss that very, very shortly. But again, welcome everybody in. I apologize for the slight delay, but if it's perfect, then it's not rock and roll. It is Wednesday. It is halfway through the week. As always, this is the Metal Summit, your island of misfit toys. We've got Angel Alamo, Jason Pearlswhite, Psycho Steve, Bobby Dreyer, and I'm Jay. Speaking of M3, we were just talking off camera a little bit about, he's played quite a few of them. He's a veteran and alumnus of M3 in multiple bands with multiple double sessions. He is also now a alumnus of this show, the poor bastard. But we are so happy to have him with the new music coming out for the End Machine, Warrant, Lynch Mob, all these great things that we will discuss. I know it's a little bit long-winded, but it's because it's Robert Mason.
I was wondering when you were going to take a breath, man.
Well, we get to a point where when it's just kind of flowing, it's just kind of flowing, man. And you've quite the history to discuss, man. So first and foremost, thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I've been around a minute, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. A long ago interview that I saw you do one time, you referred to yourself as the new old singer of Warrant, but you are the singer when it comes to not only Warrant, you had your time in Lynch Mob, that was fantastic. But let's talk a little bit before we get into the M3 and everything you're going on with Warrant. Let's talk a little bit about the End Machine, because you have phase 2 coming out for your second album with them. We had Jeff Pilson on the show not that long ago. So talk a little bit about getting to do the End Machine during, your time away from the stage.
Well, we all had time where we sat around and everybody's home and just said, well, we like what we did on the first record, but we want to make a markedly different record this time around. We don't want to repeat ourselves. It's going to sound the way it sounds, but because of the members involved and the songwriting chemistry and all, but we really wanted to tap into that. There's the undeniable Lynch and Pilson chemistry, and it did really well for that band. They were in a band. The name escapes me. They were in a band 3 years ago.
Way back.
That I wasn't even a fan of. Yeah. Long time ago. No, seriously. So the Dokken chemistry, songwriting chemistry is there. I bring a different thing to the party, of course, but we weren't afraid as much this time around to tap into those things, to get a little Lynch Mob, get a little Dokken influence, those flavors, because George plays that way. You can't ask him to do something different than what he is. Jeff's super musical guy, and Jeff and I get on really, really well in the studio together. We did the Warrant Louder, Harder, Faster record with Jeff. And the last End Machine record was really almost experimental. We were allowed not to have reins and just go, well, let's go outside ourselves and show our really old influences, and just whatever happens, happens. And this time around, we thought, okay, well, we did that. Let's do something different. And that's when we have phase 2. The songs are really cool. I didn't listen to it for the longest time. You make a record, you write songs. We were writing on Zoom meetings. I would get instrumentals and then hash them out and try out lyrics with the guys, and, through Zoom, because we were unable to just hang out together in the studio for a long period of time because of all this nonsense we're going through still. Mm-hmm. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and, alluding to all the stuff you were saying earlier. But that came out April 9th. We shot a couple of videos. They put another video together that came out, I guess, earlier this week or last week with B-roll from the other 2 videos. So it's kind of, Frontiers is nice to us, and we'll see what this does. It's unfortunate we're in a band as these 3 guys that have known each other for so long, and all this as stated before, writing chemistry and fun we have making these records. But Jeff's got an indelible position in Foreigner. I sing in my band. George could probably make time, but it's really tough for all four of us, and Steve Brown. So Mick, obviously I'll do the quick explanation. Mick Brown, for everybody, did a hard retire. I still see him. I talk to him. He pretty much no more playing, no more touring. So his younger brother, Steve, sounds just like him, plays damn near like him, and sings really well, like Mick does. He's a great singer. So he was just a no-brainer. It's like his last name is Brown. Let's get him in the band.
Absolutely.
So, it's going to be tough to play live shows. The odd one here or there comes up. We'll absolutely consider it. But the End Machine thing, I'd love to do this and make a record every once in a while and see where this goes. Maybe we'll all get really, really old someday and still want to go play music, and we'll hang around and go, it's cool. I'll get my walker out, come up on stage and do an End Machine show somewhere.
Absolutely, man. 100% for sure. So let's bridge also a little bit into that. Of course, you being the singer of Warrant, and you did get announced this week as another appearance on M3. So we're all going to be very, very excited to see you guys perform. So talk a little bit about what you and the Warrant guys have been able to do, if anything, during this time, because like you just told us about, you have the End Machine. Have you guys gotten to communicate, or did you get to do a little writing or conversating, because you had Harder, Louder, Faster that came out not that long ago?
Right. It was out in, I guess, late 17. So we kind of toured that through 18. And thankfully, fans obviously want to hear all the back catalog, but they'll embrace a new song or two. And we always try to throw a few in there from the Rockaholic record and the Louder, Harder record. I'm super thankful for that, because obviously that's my writing and my voice and our thing together. It's the chemistry and the alchemy that we have that way. I love doing the Warrant back catalog stuff, and I do my best to do justice to that legacy, and fans still want to hear those songs. I'm so happy about that. We all are. Throughout all this pandemic stuff, we played our last show, I think, in North Carolina on February 21st. Or 20th of last year.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 2 years ago. So, yeah, well, no, it was 20. Seems like 100 years ago. Yeah, we had been on the road since I joined the band in 2008. We've been pretty much tearing it up pretty regularly, like 50, 60 or so shows a year, which doesn't sound like a whole lot considering how many days there are in a year, but you build a travel day on either side and hotels and, being away from home for that much time and all of that. It's a lot of travel, mostly domestic travel. But since September of 2008, we've been doing that with me. And we took this as a pause. I mean, we all hit pause and didn't know exactly when. I didn't want to come out too early. And it's not just about backlash about trying to play a live show and people not all being, people being at risk because of the whole COVID thing. But I mean, it just didn't seem smart to do. And we all said, okay, we can kind of hang out and not try to push it. So that's what we've been doing. I mean, Eric and I early on were throwing some ideas around, but through, just sending me an iPhone video here and there. And we've got a couple of those logged in. And same with Dixon. We always kind of do that a little bit. But I think everybody used this as an opportunity to really just relax. Sure. We're chomping at the bit now, though. Clearly, yeah, we get to play this Sunday. We get to play 4th of July, right?
Yeah, 4th of July, man. Absolutely. You're on the co-headliner slot with Night Ranger for Sunday.
Yes, good bunch of lads, friends of ours.
Yes, that's definitely good. So yeah, let's kick it a little bit.
I rarely leave their bus completely sober.
Well, I mean, with the guy, with Brad and Jack and Kelly and Carrie, I mean, I can understand that for sure.
I hear my last name and I'm like, they goad me into it like I'm their little brother. Come on, we're having one. Come on, you're having one. We're having two. Okay, you're having another.
Absolutely, 100%.
No, so that's gonna be an amazing weekend. That's gonna be fun. We start We start doing shows as early as June 5th, I think. We've got one in Pennsylvania somewhere. So we start, and we plan on every place that'll have us, and every fan base that will come out en masse and knock out.
Absolutely.
Whatever the laws allow us to do, we're more than happy. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying something.
Oh, no, it's all good, man, for sure. We're going to kick it around a little bit. So, hey, Jason, if you're doing good, man, let me bring you in, man. And it's your turn.
Yeah, hey, first, I'd like to mention that today's actually my daughter Kayla's birthday. She's 7 today. So,
wow. Awesome. Happy birthday to her. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Kayla.
Happy birthday.
So Robert, how did you get into? Hold on a second. How did you get into singing? Like, what was your inspiration?
Just a bunch of stuff early on, singing around the house. Music was always around. I had a lot of early, I guess, influences between my dad's music, which was 40s, 50s, 60s kind of stuff, and then I was talking to somebody earlier in the week and said, look, I saw Tom Jones on the Andy Williams show, I believe it was an Andy Williams show. That's how long ago it was. I was like a little kid. And you see that guy and you're just like, wow, he's got this growly voice. It's not like a crooner. It's not like what you expect. And people are going bananas for it. I want to do that job, And then I had lessons on like keyboard and never any formal singing training until I was probably 20. But it was always around. Music was always a thing. And even if I got, older and sidetracked with all pursuits, academic and sports and other stuff, it was always there. And it just became something I wanted to do. So there you go.
Don, that's definitely cool. Super awesome.
Wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Nothing that's good ever is, I think.
Nah, no way. Definitely not. Well, Angel, let's kick it up to you, brother. Let's bring you in for a question of your own. And how are the Metal Summoners and Roberts fans doing?
They're patient. They're super duper excited. And they're making drinks.
Well, there you go.
It's always a fun thing.
Well, you have to find things to amuse yourself with.
Ooh.
Take your time, relax. Don't rush it.
I drunk it too much at once.
Rookie mistake. Come on, man.
Okay. Here's my question. You've been around for, like I said, a long time. I'm not going to say how many years.
But 20 years old today. That's cool.
But after all these years, man, because your voice still sounds awesome. So how do you, like I said, maintain your voice and your six pack? You still got the same six pack as you did years ago.
It's in there somewhere. Yeah. I don't know. Sitting around, I realize how good food and wine are together. That's really good. That's I gotta start running to get my wind up to make it through an entire Warrant show, because I don't exactly sit around much. I don't know. I just have always been athletic and took a bunch of vocal lessons to kind of figure out how to do it correctly and not burn my throat up. And some of it's just probably blind, dumb luck. I take care of it. Singers always got to take care of it. Diet, exercise, and sleep, and not abusing too many things along the way. I don't drink straight out of the airline bottle, if you're asking that. Did you just get off? Is that why you're drinking that? Or are you just immensely huge? I don't know.
I'm just immensely.
That was a full-size bottle of Jack Daniels that you just drank?
No, it's just like a small one.
Oh, okay. That's
I got the big one somewhere around here.
Yeah, like you just flew in from somewhere. I snuck this in. Here, excuse me.
Well, I'm gonna get down to Jackie. She has a question. Do you feel that you have a competition to fill in Janie Lane's shoes?
Not a competition at all. I have an obligation, as faithfully as I possibly can, to do those songs. The melodies are the melodies. I never ever have tried to do a caricature or impersonation, because I sound the way I sound. My voice is different, but similar enough that it hopefully suits the music and makes fans happy. He and I were friends. We met in '91 when I was making the Lynch Mob record in Los Angeles, and we got to be buds. And when they came out with Dog Eat Dog, they took us out on the road. We played arenas with Warrant back in the old days, before some of your listeners were probably even born. I don't know. It was a long time ago. 92. And, I see in the fans' appreciation just how much those songs mean to him. And he was a great songwriter, really good frontman, great singer. So that stuff deserves to be played in our estimation. And the other four guys were around that whole time, and they really still love doing this. We really do enjoy doing this, and that's why.
Nice.
Cool. Candy Burton has a question. She wants to know, who was your favorite musician to work with, and who would you like to collaborate with in the future?
Oh wow. Well, work with, I don't know. I did an Aussie tour for about a year. How do you beat that as a background vocalist? Like all around the world. 95, 96, I was in Ozzy Osbourne's band as a background singer. That's the weirdest thing in the world, like, to say. It even feels weird coming out of your mouth, like it didn't happen. So odd. But I mean, I've had the opportunity to play with charity gigs. Everybody from Alice Cooper to Rob Halford to Steve Lukather and Greg Bissonette and Michael Anthony, and tons of, I mean, that's gratuitous name drop. You know what I mean? I hate doing that. Here, I might want to send you a dustpan and a broom to pick up all the names. I've been around and have been in so many cool situations. Playing on the bill with Cheap Trick a bunch of times. Those guys are so great and so cool. And I sang with Paul Rodgers, sang with Tony Bennett once.
Oh, wow.
Kind of fun. Strangest life I've ever known.
Not a bad one, though.
No, not bad so far. See if I can keep it going.
100%.
So are these people who are chiming in via social media with questions? Cool.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah,
Hello,
they do.
everybody on Facebook and everywhere else. Yeah, I actually posted something. I found a tablature book. I posted something to my Instagram today that I found a tab book from the Lynch Mob record that I had never even cracked open.
Oh.
Got it from Virgin Japan, I guess. Because our record was out on Elektra in the States, all over the world, but Virgin did the print deal. So, back in the day, they print out those tablature books. Now everybody can go to YouTube and figure out what the hell George is playing. But, and there's a guy probably breaking it down and showing you.
Right.
And I just realized that record was 30 years old today, and went back in my pile of old stuff and, dug that out. I was like, I forgot I had this. This is crazy.
Do you ever miss those days? Because like back then, an artist can do the last show of a tour, disappear, and people would just find out what the next thing is when they would make an announcement. So do you kind of miss those days where you didn't have to post, hey, I'm in the bathroom, or hey, I'm working on the song?
I don't usually do that. I know I probably should do more of stuff on social media, because I know people appreciate it and people want to know. People are voracious. They want to know everything about you. But the important stuff, like when we go back to work, you'll see me in airports. You'll see all the other junk. Every once in a while, I'll get out and have a little fun out here and post something with some friends. But yeah, I mean, I'm not bitter for the old, I wish it was like it was the old days. Everything's bad now. I'm not one of those people at all. Technology is double-edged sword, to be sure, but there's so many more advantages now. And it's so terribly easy to find out anything you want to find out. Anything. Just how many looks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I don't know. Let's look it up on Google. It's like, it's all there. So the information is there. I love the romantic notion of having to wait to see what a band looked like and really sounded like until they came to your town. Even before MTV, where you'd watch like Saturday Night Live or Midnight Special maybe, or Don Kirshner's rock concert, Night Flight, if everybody remembers that, like where you'd see a band. But before that, you just bought the album, CD, 8-track, cassette, whatever, and you're reading the liner notes. You're like, oh, they're coming to town, I'm going to buy tickets, and then you go see them live. I think a lot of it's still there, but it's really hard to clap when one of these is in one of your hands. So, and there's a lot of this going on, a lot of this going on, a lot of this going on. So I engage fans at our shows as much as possible and let them have their fun, and they all want to post that they're at a Warrant show or wherever, and that's cool, and I love that aspect of it. But I still want them to put their phone in their damn back pocket and sing along and rock out with us and pay attention. I mean, I am up there to do that, and that's that's my gig. It is. I understand that's my role, so I think you just adapt.
Cool. I got a good fan question. This is from David Rosenfeld. He wants to know, how was it working with George Lynch on The End Machine? Crack the Sky is Killer.
Well, David, it goes like this. We were all distanced this time, so it was a little weird. He's great. He comes up with these riffs that are, inimitably his, and every time he picks up a guitar, it sounds like him. I'm sure everybody here will agree. It's it's him when he's playing. I find it pretty easy to find melodies over what he's playing. Sometimes it's a little busy. I kind of, he reins me in, I rein him in. He'll call me and he'll say, "Hey man, I've got this idea for a melody." I'm like, all right, I'll try to work with that, and that part's really cool. I'll work with that. And then, conversely, I'll probably say, "Hey, this part in the song happens way too many times. Can we edit this? Can we cut and paste this in Pro Tools, and we can make this shorter, and then we can get to this section because here's what I have for this section." And then through the writing process, I would send them little audio clips. We'd have Zoom meetings with the three of us and kind of go over what we think about the songs, melody and lyric wise, what I have, what they suggest, what they think. And then I would just do really, really rough home recordings, send them to them, and then we just go from there. So this was challenging, different than the last time, but still fun.
Right on. Absolutely. Angel, do we have any more questions at the moment, brother?
Nope. I'll kick it right back up to you.
Hey, no worries. It's all good. Yeah, fans, don't be shy. Get those comments right in there so we can ask Robert anything that you guys want to know about him or what he's got going on. So, Robert, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, we were touching a little bit about it before we came live because we got to talking about guitars, because the fans can probably see the guitars not only in your hands but behind you. So you're dominantly known for fronting for bands where you're really the front man and you're not playing an instrument as much. Have you ever put some thought into playing a guitar more often when you're up on stage, or is having the freedom of not having things in your hands a little more appealing?
It's a cop-out, I guess, to say both are true, but there are times, some of the stuff that we've done in the Warrant records, I mean, I played acoustic on ballads in Lynch Mob back in the day. When we did Dream Until Tomorrow live, I used to play, and Gibson was thankfully nice enough to put me on the loaner list, and they would send me out a few of those acoustic electrics. But yeah, I do like the band where I can just front and throw my mic stand around and probably hit some of the other people. I've hit everybody in my band with a mic stand. I'm sure I have. I like fronting because I think I get to focus and do that probably as well as I'm able. Playing guitar and singing, though, is where I started. I never had that grandiose gesture where I would say, I'm just going to be a front man. Everyone's going to, worship me, and that's the way it goes. Like I learned on piano, so I knew a little bit about music. I taught myself guitar when I was young. I'm heavy-handed on both. I'm hardly, this is what I know I'm like pretty good at.
Sure.
But I like writing, and I love writing from piano and guitar. Over the years, I've gotten a few ones that, a few that I really, really like. So it's in Cry of Love, I sang and probably played half the set rhythm guitar. So that was interesting. It's always you have to split your brain. If you're playing a rhythm part or a part that's completely different rhythm or syncopation to what you're singing, you pretty much have to split your brain to play both. You don't just go like this every time you play it's not like that. You have to actually utilize a little bit of your gray matter and try to figure out, an interesting way to play. I'm a closet guitar freak, so I love playing.
Sure. Absolutely.
But I'm hardly a guitar player. If that's, I don't know. I always like that fallback of like, oh, for a singer, he's not a bad guitar player. I mean, that's okay. I can deal with that.
Right on, man. That's awesome. So, and kind of like a fun question that I kind of wanted to ask you, when you were coming up in music, playing in bands and stuff like that, can you tell us like, maybe one or two experiences where you maybe had a run-in with, somebody that you thought very highly of, or maybe a musician that had already, made it, as the term goes, that really kind of gave you like some great advice, or just, kind of gave you like that extra little, nudge that kind of maybe helped put you up on like another level, whether it came to your stage performance or the way you thought about things?
Probably several of them.
Cool.
I met Jolyn Turner really early on, like 83, 84. When I first started doing this, and in a rehearsal place in New Jersey. So I was born in New York, raised in New York, New Jersey, kind of in that New York metro area, and I've always been around there. So I was in Manhattan a lot, and I was in North Jersey a lot. Ran into Joe, and that's just one person. There's so many, but Joe was really cool. He was like, "Hey, kid, you're a pretty good singer. What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm in a band. We're rehearsing down the way here." That kind of thing. And we got to talk, and we got to exchange each other's numbers and and I guess Joe was like the first guy that I met that was really had done it, had toured, had made records. He was from where I was from. I respected his talents, writing, his voice. We got on really well, probably, because we're from the same area. So we would go out in Manhattan together. We'd go grab dinner in Little Italy, and then go hit the clubs where there would be jams happening. And there would be nights, at the Cat Club or the China Club or whatever in New York. And there'd be a house band with all the guys off tour, half of Billy Joel's band, the Hall & Oates guys, a guy from Steely Dan, a guy from, this or that. And then they would have singers come up, and I started doing that with Joe. Joe pretty much invited me into doing that, which was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
our birthdays run around each other too. Leo too, so we get along. We go like this, and then we get along. That's what we do. But Joe was great with that. That might have been like the first person that I met where he had worn the shoes. You know what I mean? He had done what I want to do.
Absolutely.
And was encouraging.
Nice. That's really, really awesome for sure. I mean, Joe's amazing. There's just like, there's a high enough pedestal for him probably just doesn't exist.
He's a talented guy.
Absolutely, 100%. Well, Jason, it's about that time for your brother, so I thought I'd bring you back in for your next series.
So Rob,
Yes.
let's see. So,
me see. I'm just trying to think here. Has there? All right. So, aside from music, have you dipped your feet in any other type of artistry or anything like that, like acting or writing or painting or whatever else there is to
I
do?
mean, I was a writer first, so I like the English language and using words and figuring that out. It helped in the lyric writing thing. But as far as other art, no, I was a music guy. I mean, everybody drew. I used to draw motorcycles and hot rods when I was a little kid, like incessantly. I was obsessed with cars, and so, but I never got into like hardcore restoration or anything like that,
Hmm.
where I was
That's cool.
completely rebuilding and that sort of thing. But a bunch of that related kind of stuff.
That's cool. I have a
I don't
friend
know.
who.
It's
What were
go
you gonna
ahead.
say?
Sorry.
No, you were gonna say
No,
something?
no, no. Go right ahead. You have a friend.
Oh no, I was gonna say
You
I
have a
have a
friend. I
friend
just want to know.
who.
Can you prove you have a friend?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Just a friend, but no. He he got into painting motorcycles. You mentioned uh, motorcycles, but he got into painting motorcycles, and he is a great artist. So with that, like, he would draw all these designs on it, and it was pretty cool. He did it for a little while, not long.
I've known a few of those guys. I know some of the real,
Yeah,
you know,
cool.
prolific celebrity bike builder kind of guys. I mean, TV and reality shows kind of made those,
Mm.
I think, just a little bit of a caricature.
Yeah,
But there's some really, really good ones and some great artists. Yeah, there you
cool,
go.
cool, nice.
I mean, I had a hand in suggesting what I wanted for album art and that kind of stuff,
Oh,
but that's about as far as that goes.
nice.
Nice, man. Right on.
I can
Angel,
barely
let
write,
me bring
I
you
can
back
barely
in
write
there.
my name where people can understand it. Why would I want to paint?
Who knows? Just get a
Yeah,
little something out there. Maybe you could just do like anger painting, or you say that you've hit your guys with the mic stand. Maybe you could do like mic stand painting or something like that.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, art is subjective. I could probably figure out something.
That is still art.
Yeah.
For sure. Angel, keep it rolling, buddy.
Okay, question from Anna Maria. She wants to know, what are your favorite Warrant songs to sing live?
Wow.
Because we know it's hard to pick one, so but you can.
It's a really difficult question in that it moves. It changes from day to day, from show to show. For me, honestly, I'll get done with a gig and go backstage and like, wow, people went bananas for this song as opposed to this one. For me, it's all about audience reaction. I honestly want everybody to have as much fun as I'm having as we're having. So I figure that's my mission, is just to get people to forget the problems for an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever, and come out and see our shows and go home with a sore voice from screaming too loud.
Yes, a lot of us on the East Coast are looking at the comment section are going to M3 and to the show on June 5th.
Yeah, I'm easy to find. I'm the one in the middle for a minute, and then I'm on the one on the side, and then I'm over here, and then I'm out there. Yeah, we're chomping at the bit to come back and really make up for this. 2020, technically September of 2020 marked the 30th anniversary of Cherry Pie release. So we're pretty much just going to go like 2020 never happened and just come right out and like, this is the 30th anniversary of Cherry Pie.
Right.
Yeah. Who's counting?
Yeah, exactly. Just a number.
Yeah. Guys, I remember when that record came out. Okay.
Who else do we
Matt,
have?
we got Matt Porter. He wants to know if you could front a supergroup, who would be in the band?
Wow.
Could be any musician that's living or is not here with us. But if you can have that dream supergroup,
That's just I had to study if I knew the questions were going to be this hard. Like,
I would have. Yeah, I would have studied.
yeah, wow. I just loved Thin Lizzy, Phil Lynott, great songwriter, singer, bass player. But I mean, Glenn Hughes is an amazing bass player and singer. Like to have a band like that, like I love bands where there are several singers, like the old Grand Funk and Humble Pie, and where you had multiple people playing and singing. So it'd be really difficult to put that together. Could I change it from night to night? Because it would just be like fantasy football. You just put like
Yeah,
names.
yeah. It could be who would you have in Vegas? Who would you have in Europe?
Right. It could be a pickup band.
Right.
Like East Coast, West Coast. Right. Like TSO. They just have like a bunch of different people. I mean, I've gotten to play shows with a bunch of charity gigs with other musicians. I think Tommy Shaw is amazing. I'm trying to think of people I haven't mentioned yet. Tommy's just a great, super high voice and great player. The Night Ranger guys, like we mentioned earlier with M3, we're looking forward to that because we always have fun, and those guys are super talented. Jack and I are friendly. Kelly actually lives not too far away from me in Arizona, and I know Gilmo forever, so long time. I got to play Suicide Solution with Gillis, Brian Tishy, who was playing bass? Maybe Phil Susan, or was it Rudy? I think it was Rudy. I think it was the first time those Ozzy songs had been played since the 80s when, with those guys. And I got to sing an Ozzy tribute thing.
Nice.
It was Randy Rhoads tribute thing in LA at the NAMM show. We did that a little bit. But yeah, Gillis is great fun to play with. He's such an amazing guitar player. Oh, boy, I don't know. Never got to play with Steve Vai.
That's so good.
Wizard. Guy's like a wizard.
Now, you know what? I did not make up this order of next questions, but it's really just questions about equipment. So David Rosenfeld wants to know, do you have a favorite guitar brand?
The ones we use live are GMP guitars. This one is mine, my specific. I have 3 of these. I just got this one back. Thank you, Dan Lawrence. Thank you.
Oh, that one looks awesome.
I had a mishap with it, and this was the first one he built for me. GMP 2P90s, a bridge pickup that kind of approximates an acoustic. With a push-pull pot, I pull that out, and it's just volume. It defeats everything else, and I can play ballads live, clean, semi-chambered, mahogany, and a little maple cap, set up like a Les Paul. I use necks like baseball bats. Now, this is the first one he built for me, and it had a slimmer neck. Subsequently, he built 2 more, same except for the color. But every time I asked him for more neck, because I have, hold on, I'll be right back.
Awesome.
The Barn Find 55 Les Paul Jr.
Oh.
Not a barn really, but this one has that neck. I gave him the specs exactly from this neck. You can see it's kind of like a baseball bat sawn in half. But this one's just magical. Got it for super cheap. Used in '91 when I was out here, and had Les sign it. Took it back to New York and had Les took it away from me and signed it with an engraving pen. Then brought it back, laughing. Here you go, kid. It's like I smell wood burning. I just bought that. But yeah, I mean, I have all guitars I like. I'm usually a Gibson guy. I had a friend build me a Telly. Had a beautiful piece of swamp ash and a really nice bird's eye chunk of maple from an old tree on our friend's, like neighbors of our friend had a tree in Ohio, I think that fell, and they're like, oh, this beautiful maple tree, and they cut in, and found enough to make 2 or 3 guitar necks. So I had a buddy build me kind of a Keith Richards telly.
Oh wow!
Like I've never owned a telly until now. So only recently, the past couple of years. I mean, I've got several. I've had a few. The GMPs are great on the road. They're super consistent. They're really well built. Dan Lawrence builds amazing guitars with his crew, and that's what everybody in Warrant uses now.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now we're gonna switch it to the microphones. This question is from Jeannie. Jeannie, like I said,
good. I don't know.
I did not put these questions in order. It just so happens.
I've been a Shure guy,
awesome.
an Audio Technica guy. I've been like what you hope for when you do this is that some company will give you, a little love, some free gear or an advertisement or something to help you out on the road when you're starting off. I've sung through everything live in the studio, to make like making records in the studio, usually old Neumanns. Jeff Pilson has an amazing old Neumann that if we weren't friends, I would try to steal, but I won't because we're friends. I can go sing through it whenever I feel like. So, but live, anybody with the camera or with the internet has seen me probably sing through a Beta 58, Shure Wireless forever. They're industry standard. They're pretty bulletproof, although I break them. I'm pretty rough on gear. I snapped the headstock off of that black GMP, and that's why it's taken almost a year to get it back. He put a whole new neck on it for me. It had a slimmer neck, and that was the end of that story. It had a slimmer neck, and I don't know. I was not happy one night, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, hurricane!
He was very angry at me. Dan was very angry with me when he saw that. But I said to him, look, man, the neck has been the thinnest one you ever made. Now you can make a big chunky neck. Look, I did a favor, right? That's a good thing. So I just got that back this afternoon.
That's awesome.
And it's really cool. And it's got a neck like it's never going to break now.
It was Hurricane Mason that day.
Yeah, I know. Everybody was mad at me that day. My tech was mad at me. I was mad at stuff. I don't know. I'm not perfect.
Nobody is. Okay.
I'm pretty nice, but I'll give you reasons to not like me if you hang around for long enough. I mean, about as many as reasons to like me.
Dude, I'm just, like I said, your voice, and you still got the same 6-pack. Because when I look at the video from Tangled in the Web, you still got the same 6-pack.
That was 30 years ago, man. I don't know. I'm not the same. None of us are.
Yeah. I gotta go work out with you because all I got is the beer belly. So.
Well, it starts now because I only have 5 or 6 weeks before we go back into intense rehearsal and then we go do Warrant shows. So yeah.
So like before you go like on the road, do you kind of, I don't know, like pick up your workouts because you're gonna be on the road, like I said, doing a physical show because you basically pour a lot into it.
This was a weird time, and we all took this pause in the Warrant camp. I'm not running through airports playing shows. I don't have I thrive on a little bit of, it's not bad stress, but I thrive on a tight schedule and tension and all that. I barely eat on the road. Band makes fun of me because I'm not the guy who goes out to dinner and then goes at night and then goes to sleep. So I tend to lose weight on the road really quickly. I look back at that lynch mob stuff. Like there was a time on the road in the middle of that lynch mob tour where I was under 140 pounds. I mean, that's nutty for me. I had a picture that Jerry Miller took in Metal Edged, and I just looked like a skeleton. Yeah, can't fit in those pants anymore. So, I mean, I was super, super lean. And I go back and forth between that. But yeah, you just have to take care of yourself.
Cool. Now I'm going to go to Jeannie's question. She wants to know, is there a certain type of brand of microphone that works best for you, that provides a great quality?
I just don't know. Shure 58 is consistently they're like consistently inconsistent. I don't know. Are they? They're probably pretty consistent now. The old ones used to be, they're a thing that's assembled. It's like a guitar or anything else. They're gonna vary a little bit, but they're dependable and they have a certain tone, certain tonality and EQ and sound that just suits my voice pretty well, I guess. A lot has to do with whatever the sound man's doing out there too, and whatever else. We're completely live. We've got absolutely no tracks or tapes or anything like that when we play. So what you see is what you get. Every once in a while, it may not sound like the 20 tracks of backing vocals that was on a record, because there aren't. This is me and Steve and the guys, singing along. So, like I said, I've used Sennheiser, Audio-Technica, and Shure through my entire life, but the 58 is always the one that I come back to, a Beta 58.
Nice.
We'll see. I don't know. I think we've got a company that wants to give us some love for this tour this year, so for the Cherry Pie redo. So maybe we'll have maybe I'm total Lyle that make a liar out of me, and they'll send us a bunch of different microphones to try out.
Peggy Farrell wants to know, do you have any pets?
Yes, I do. Thanks for the question, Peggy. That's a yes or no question. I don't know. I don't have to elaborate.
She wants to know, do you like cats?
What's that?
Do you like cats?
Yeah, they're delicious. I'm absolute animal lover. Love them. I've had pets throughout my life.
And Adam's
dogs, cats, all sorts of stuff.
We're into pets as well here. I don't know. Jay has a cat that pops up once in a while.
Yeah. He's lying on the floor right now, but he's right there.
Yep. Well, if you need me, this is where I'll be.
Adam Snow wants to know, have you ever thought about doing any acoustic shows with just you and a guitar?
In a word, yes. Who's this? I'm sorry, I missed the.
Adam Snow.
Adam. All right. So Adam, yes. I've been sitting home throughout this year. Not so much acoustic guitar. There are times I've done that, but I might go write a bunch of songs on this old piano that's right in front of me someday and do something with them. Whether they get sold off to somebody else or whether I use them for myself. But I've always thought about doing that. I'm no wonderful piano player by any means, but I can move around on it, and I like writing songs on the piano. For some reason, piano just makes sense to me sometimes when guitar doesn't, as far as a writing thing goes. But yeah, I mean, I would do that. I hardly think myself prepared to do that, on a moment's notice. Like, hey, here's a bunch of songs I usually do with a big old rock band, but I'm going to play them by myself right now. And then who would play the guitar solos? Like, we just have to give the guitar solos a pass. We're just like, nah, who needs to hear those? All you out there in the audience, whistle the guitar solo.
Rob, let me chime in real quick.
Sure.
You mentioned piano. It's funny because I'm a fellow guitarist, and I've attempted drums as well, and I always found that I migrate towards piano these days lately,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to play off of this question and add how, like, the way that you described playing the piano, it's almost like you're kind of in the same boat as me, where you get urges to play the piano more than any other instrument. Is that safe to say, or is there another, like, are you not
when I'm
thinking that way?
noodling on guitar is fun, playing blues riffs and and I know a bunch of chords and that kind of thing, but I hardly consider myself really, really proficient on guitar. Once again, I play rhythm, I play a little bit, I've played some solos and even on a couple of records, but it's not really what I do. So this piano, I got 95 or 96, I guess 96. It's it's my first cup of coffee, go out here, and before I really wake up, I sit down and start playing. And if anything comes out of it, something comes out of it. And I have a backlog of ideas, and then I'm slowly starting to put those together. But yeah, I mean, if you look at it, every note you could possibly play, you can't bend any notes. They're all right here.
Mm-hmm.
So all you can do is add sustain. And finding out now, I like the discovery of not knowing a huge amount about music theory. I couldn't play jazz piano or anything like that. You know, I'm not one of those guys by any means. But I like stumbling upon stuff that goes, oh, wow, okay, kind of cool.
It sounds good.
You know, something that doesn't really belong in the chord, but then it belongs in the chord all of a sudden.
Right.
So here, let's drop this back in. Drop that back in the rack. But you know what I mean? Like, I love that idea of minor keys turned into major keys when you're writing to kind of change things around. You know, from major minor. You know, you wouldn't think an E would work in that because you've got a D in it. But they all work in G minor. So I like using different inversions of chords, not just. Just finding your way around, and that usually inspires me to write something.
Cool.
That's super duper rad for sure. Yeah, Angel, let me kick it back up to you, buddy.
Yeah, it's just funny because I was gonna kick it right back up to you because it's
Cool.
10:10, so we gotta
All right.
take
No
care of our
worries.
sponsors, and then we'll get back to the fan questions afterwards.
Cool. No worries, man. It's all good for sure. Yeah, we always want to take a second to thank the sponsors of the show that allow us to bring on such great guests like Robert and all the future guests we're going to have and all the fantastic guests that we have had. So first and foremost, we want to thank, as always, Brad, Angie, and Dawn from BLE for being involved with us, you know, getting live gigs back going again and everything that they've been doing to get, you know, everything that they can when it comes to live music and shows. So we always really appreciate them for being involved with us. We want to thank Mark and Janet, who are TMS alumni from Rock and Horror Apparel. They clothe members of the show, and we really love everything that they do. And their episode was fantastic. They've got a whole bunch of new stuff that they're putting out. So Mark, Janet, thank you guys so very much. I really, really appreciate it. We always want to thank, of course, Mr. David Rosenfeld, who already got some questions in for Robert, with I'm sure more to come. Thanks so much, David, with Rosenfeld Dental Associates, njsmile.com. We really appreciate you being involved with us as well. I want to give a special shout out tonight to Saren from Saren Cadaver from Twisted Vines. I got a very cool package in the mail from her today. I ordered some stuff for a friend's birthday that I was having designed, and she sent me a bunch of like cool like little goodies, but she sent me a t-shirt with her little, I don't know if it's coming across, but her little voodoo doll on there, and it says stay spooky. But then as like a cool little surprise, because everybody knows that I'm crazy for these, she made us of that the Metal Summit Ouija board.
That's awesome.
So it looks like this is how I'm going to have to get our guests from now on. Don't know how that will work or what that might cause, but it looks like we're going to be getting all of our guests now through the Metal Summit Ouija board. So anyway, Sharon, thank you so much, love. I love you. You are. Yeah, seriously, dude. I will make it our business to have a Freddie Mercury episode. You can bet on that. So that's super duper awesome.
Schedule rehearsals.
What's up?
For my fantasy band, I'm going to need that to schedule rehearsals.
Okay, we can do that. Absolutely, Robert. We will make that a thing for sure. So, Saren, thank you again so much. Love you, rock. You're the best. I really appreciate that stuff. And also, last but of course not least, we want to thank John and Bubby's Beanery. Thank you so much for being involved, buddy. Bubby'sBeanery.com. We really appreciate all of our sponsors being involved with us. Everybody, hang tight. Don't move. We'll be back in about a minute. We're going to take a little commercial break. Let everybody take a quick breather, and we will be right back with more Robert Mason for the second half. Thank you so much. Hang tight.
God, what happened to you? Oh, I hope you feel better. Have a great day.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate all of our sponsors, as always, for putting, some love into our show and supporting what I do, I get to do, what Jason gets to do, Angel, Bobby, Psycho, Steve. We are very, very fortunate. And that's the one thing that COVID did get us, give to us is, with us personally, when it comes to the Metal Summit, we had already started the show right before COVID, but when things, shut down, we really were able to put our heads together and really, build the show and concentrate on it to build it to what it became. So we definitely appreciate that. And we do welcome Robert Mason from Warrant, from Lynch Mob, from the End Machine, right back in with us. Angel, let me kick it right back up to you, my good man. We do have Robert for a little while longer, guys. So real quick, Angel, before you take it away, guys, sorry for the quick one on you tonight, but it is last call for alcohol, guys. When it comes to your questions, get them into Angel so that way we can keep Robert on schedule. But last call for alcohol. Angel, take it away.
Okay, let me get right down to it. Kim Sullivan just has a comment. Robert, hello from Raleigh, North Carolina. Cry of Love is special to us here. Rest in peace, Kelly Holland. Jackie wants to know, Robert, what other genres of music do you like?
I like everything. I mean, I honestly have a pretty diverse palette. I will listen to the classical station in the car. I love it. Honestly, I grew up starting with, I was saying earlier, my parents' music, 40s and 50s, everything from all the crooners and harmony bands to doo-wop and the 60s stuff. Then I discovered all the British blues and discovered all the blues that came before it, like all the people that were influenced in the UK by American artists and then brought it over. I guess that's about it, though. I've seen a couple of marching bands, but they don't turn me on. Do they marching band? Can you download marching band? I bet you could download OSU's marching band just to have in your car at all times. All right, who's next?
Candy Burton wants to know, what's the craziest fan interaction you've ever had?
Saving that one for the book.
No problem.
No worries.
I don't know. At an Aussie show, we had someone throw a prosthetic leg up on stage once.
Did you sign it?
He did. He walked around with it, and he was making jokes with it. It had like a trainer, like a cross trainer shoe on it, and apparently it was somebody. I guess they wanted it signed, so I think somebody brought him over a Sharpie and he signed it and gave it back down. But it was some guy just said, "Hey, I'm never going to get on stage, but part of me is going to get on stage. I can throw this."
Nice. That's awesome.
Anna Maria wants. What? I'm sorry. Were you nervous singing the national anthem?
The national anthem?
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that a bunch of times. Baseball games, football games, hockey games, PBR events. On the ice at a Phoenix Coyotes game, cold as all get out. Could see my breath. That was no fun. But no, I mean, I'm privileged to be able to do it. I've done the Diamondbacks games, and like I said, the PBR is fun, except that there's a lot of dust and, frankly.
Stephanie wants to know, is there an instrument you would like to learn to play?
I'm a horrible drummer, and it's not that I know I'm a horrible drummer. I just have never really tried. So maybe I should get a set of drums. Take that up. I'd like to be a better harmonica player, but that just takes practice. I'm going to prison. Have a lot of time to yourself.
Kim Sullivan wants to know, if you were sitting through your dad's record collection, what would be one of your favorites?
see, Herb Alpert, and Tijuana Brass, Whipped Cream and Other Delights, the first Blood, Sweat, and Tears record. Wow. What other stuff? I have both of those, by the way. I don't think my brother has the one, but I have the other in the house, in the record collection. Cool old, like Harry Belafonte and Sam Cooke and Otis Redding and Elvis and Frank Sinatra records. My dad was a Sinatra fanatic. There you go. That's enough.
Cool. Yep, and that was all the main questions. So I'm gonna kick it back up to Jay.
Yeah, no problem, man. Absolutely. So one of the things I wanted to hit you with real quick, Robert, is kind of a final question for me that you got to do and were involved in, where, getting to perform and being at things like the Los Angeles Music Awards and the Phoenix Music Awards and things like that. So I'd love to hear a little bit about how it is playing shows like that and being involved in those kind of award type, shows where it's not like, typical concerts or festivals.
I honestly, they're always, it's a different vibe. I've done a bunch of charity stuff, charity events, where you're performing as part of a house band or you're coming as a ringer to do a couple songs or whatever. Awards shows haven't really done much of that, honestly. I've been asked.
Okay.
I've been asked, and quite frankly, it's never worked out with my schedule to do it. I've always tried to be too busy. I like playing shows for fans, people that are really there. I don't need an award for it. I just want to sound. I know it comes off as cheesy, but I mean, it's the best fun I ever have in my life is being on my side of the mic with people on the other side, and we just really get back to that. As a monstrous audience, at least in the States, for now. That'll be great by me.
Absolutely, man. For sure. Jason, let me kick it over to you right quick, my good dude. Do we have a question coming from you, man?
So Rob, what are those two pictures back there? Is that your artwork?
No, those are very, very old family. I was told that they are tops to beer barrels.
Do you have anything hanging up of your own that you'd show sketches or anything like that?
No, nothing like that. My brother's the real artist. I just sing in rock band. Write songs.
The mic stand art is coming later.
Exactly. I'll be denting things with mic stands for mic stand art.
Right on, for sure. Super duper awesome. Well, we got Robert for a couple minutes more, but we're about to cut him loose. Angel, I'm going to kick it to you, and then we'll wrap everything.
No, I just want to say, thank you for your time tonight. It's always awesome to do an interview with you. I just want to know, can you share a story of buying your first record or going to your first concert?
I saw a bunch of concerts. I didn't go to too many really, really early on, but I've been to a bunch of. I was talking about records. I think I was the kid who got like the first Boston record. Who might have even been not a record, might have been an 8-track. And like I said, I was exposed to my parents' music and had to discover other stuff via the radio or friends, older brothers and sisters' record collections. So, seeing real early Aerosmith and Hendrix, and Axis Bold as Love, and got Toys in the Attic, and Hotel California, and all the way from like Beach Boys and Beatles and Stones, all the way through Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and everything else, and Queen and The Who, Free, Humble Pie. I discovered that through friends, older brothers and sisters' record collections. So
nice.
That's where I first got exposed to all this rock music. That was out of the house.
That's awesome, man. Right on, man, for sure. Well, Robert, we can't thank you enough, man. We definitely want to let you get on with your evenings, but spend time getting to write and do all that, and get up and stretch your legs so you feel like you haven't been strapped down for too very long.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, man. Right before we came back on, Robert had asked me for anybody who's seen our previous episodes about Alex Kane, and yeah, dude, he's a great guy. He's a really good cat, and we had a great time talking to him. And like him, just like you've got an open invitation to come back whenever you want, whenever there's new music, whenever you just have things that you want to talk about. You've always got an outlet here, man, and we will always be happy to have you.
I appreciate it, Jay. Thanks again. Thanks all you guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Well, catch Robert Mason and Warrant M3 4th of July weekend, as well as in June. He's hitting the road as well. So live music's coming back, guys. Make sure that you get out there to support, show your love, get your butts out of your house seat into those seats, and then stand up and cheer. Robert, thanks again so much, man. You have a great rest of your evening. Everybody, hit up all of our socials. Hit up Robert Mason's socials, Warrant's socials, and everything for the End Machine. Hit us up on Facebook, where we go live every week. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, where we put all of these interviews, and definitely hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. Again, guys, M3's coming up. Make sure you guys get out there. Guest announcement on Friday for next week's episode. It's going to be a good one, as always. We're very, very lucky, and we love you guys to death. Again, thank you guys so much. For the entire crew, for Angel Alamo, for Jason Perlsweig, for Bobby Dreyer, Psycho Steve, I'm Jay. We thank again Mr. Robert Mason. And as always, you know where you are, you know where you've been, you know where you're going to be next week. You've been watching Metal Summit.